Alright guys, it's about 2 months after I filmed this video. It's going to be really hectic. I really jumped around, but the main thing is the wiring of the harness in the engine bay. But I was just doing little random shit here and there to take up some time until I got parts in. After this video, I will be posting another one probably next week of the front end brake conversion, and that's a lot more focused on one path. But yeah, so just a heads up here. All right, so this is just something to do in the meantime, but I don't really like this tan seat. I like this black passenger seat better. I actually took off the seat off the rails, which is simple. It's just a couple plastic clips here, and I'm going to be taking these covers off, giving them a good wash, and transferring them onto this seat. And then also I got a plastic racing bucket for the passenger seat, so that way, well, these seats are about 30 something pounds a piece, probably about 35 pounds a piece, and this new racing bucket's less than 10, so I'm going to be putting that in here for the weight reduction. So it's actually quite a bit of work to get these seat rails off, but this is a majority of the weight in these seats. Like, this is probably, of the 35 pounds, this is probably 30 pounds. So we're going from about 30 pounds down to that, plus whatever adapters we use to put the plastic seat on. So it was a lot of work. We had to drill out some rivets here and get out these little sliders with rollers. And then we had to drill out, grind off. They have little nubs back here, which is really hard to see. These nubs right here. But yeah, so I think that this will definitely be worth it. Okay, so probably never doing this again because all the hog rings were absolutely annoying. But I took off these seat covers because they were all stained. So now this is on the driver's side seat rails, and I think it turned out really well. I think next time though, I'll just do like a standard like detailing, soak in the seats, use like the shop vac and stuff like that. But really happy with how this turned out. So this is going to be my driver's seat now, getting rid of the really ugly tan seat that matched these pieces. And yeah. Okay, so to set up these seats, I have these, I just primered these because I didn't want them to rust. I don't give a shit about how they look. But, so I have these set in place. This is a piece of aluminum here. I'm going to bolt this down in 4 places to these seat rails. And then from there, this is not as wide as these seat rails, which is why this plate's going to be here. And even though it's really thin, it should be fine because the pressure is spread out amongst a large area. But so from there, there's some steel bars that go in here. And I'm going to drill up through the plate and go thread 6 different bolts, 3 on each side, into those bars that are in the seat to hold it down. And then I also might make some spacers for back here because, as you can see, that's kind of angled and the seat is like pretty far back. I want it a little more straight up. So yeah, that's how I'm going to do this. I'll show you guys the final product. Okay, so here's what the final seat setup's looking like. I do need to find my seat bolts. I don't know where I put them because I took the seats out a long time ago. And then I might put some spacers here because this is kind of angled pretty far back. But yeah, it's looking good. It saved honestly probably not that much, but it does kind of look cool. I just need to clean it. But yeah, I'm happy with the results here. Looks pretty cool. In reality though, this probably only saved about 10 pounds because this is feeling pretty heavy compared to the stock one. It's about, I would say it's pretty similar in weight. So for those ball joint adapters, the company said 4 to 6 weeks for them. So what we're going to be doing now is starting to lay out this wiring harness. I did change out my PCV valve too. That'd be good if the engine's a little higher mileage. And then to get the chassis harness, Rywire, it's like $400. You need to send them your old engine harness, I believe, for the plugs that went to the ECU. Not 100% on that, but either way, I cut off this. I cut it, you know, at the ends, and then I just modified this a little bit. So I'm gonna run the new Jack Spaniel wiring harness through this, and then that way I have my OEM firewall plug here. So to start with this wiring harness, I am just going to be connecting this up to the crank position sensor. I'm actually going to come back to that because it seemed like it wasn't fitting. Maybe I needed an adapter or a different sensor. So next I'm going to do the cam, the VVT solenoid thing. And then I'm going to be doing these guys back here. So let me get them and then I'll show you. Here's what this looks like. Got this connected. The orange plug goes here. The blue plug goes back there. And then down here, I don't know if you can see it, we have this plug too. And something I do like about this for this Jack Spaniel one is all of these are, if this thing will focus, holy shit, they are labeled. So there's that. It's pretty cool. Next, we're going to be running this kind of through here like this and then around. And I'm going to be hooking up the coils. Okay, so now that these are connected, I connected the cam sensors here. Obviously, this rear cam is your exhaust and this front cam is your intake. And then I ran this down between these vacuum lines. Ran this down and then ran this. This is supposed to go under your intake manifold. So ran that under, ran these fuel injector plugs up and under this over to here, so they're looking nice. Now I'm gonna do the transmission plugs. So I have a, where's it at? Variable speed sensor plug right here, and that's gonna plug in right there. And then I have, is this it? This, I think it's, where is it? Oh, the reverse plug. Where's it at? There's a reverse plug somewhere that goes right here. So I'll show you guys that when it's done. Okay, so this plug is either going to need an adapter or it's going to be changed out, because as you can see, this has the 2 pins and then the clip. And here we have 1, 2, the clip, and a third one right here. So this, yeah, either going to need an adapter or to be changed out. Reverse was fine though. I just ran it down between this radiator hose and this heater line, and that clips in right there. This NOx sensor is also going to have to be changed out because it's not fitting on this. Down here I ran the alternator wire. Okay, so through some research, this sensor down here on the transmission, that is a counter or a countershaft speed sensor, I think it's called. And essentially that reads the speed off of the teeth on 3rd gear. And what I have is a vehicle speed sensor for the plug wherever it's at, which would be on a transmission back here. So I have to convert this in order to plug that in and for it to read correctly, which requires rewiring and then also requires filing down this sensor a little bit to fit that connector on it. Okay, so after some research, it looks like some companies make adapter harnesses for about 15 bucks for the CSS to VSS, as well as the crank position sensor. You can't use a K20 position sensor in there. Apparently it'll cause issues. So yeah, I'm just gonna buy the adapter harnesses. You can use a K20 knock sensor in here, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna switch out this K24 one for a K20, and that should fix that. Also, next I found out this piece up here that I had bent when I put the engine in. I couldn't find the connector for this, and the reason being is this stupid thing is a variable engine mount stiffness solenoid. So I guess in the TSX, this controls the engine mount. Don't mind that bolt being out. Don't look at it. But it controls the stiffness of the engine mounts in real time, which is kind of weird. I didn't know that any cars had that. So cool to learn about, but we can get rid of this, and then we can plug up, I believe, from what I remember, they plug onto the intake right here and somewhere else. But yeah, so we can plug up wherever those vacuum lines attach to. So yeah, let's get rid of that real quick. So that looks a lot cleaner with that gone. So now I'm actually going to head to the gym and then to school. So I'll catch you guys another day. Okay, so next I'm going to be doing my coolant temp sensor, which is right back here. It's this white one. And also a note, that looks really dirty, but I did spray out all of the connections on the motor with electrical contact cleaner. So hopefully that helped a little bit, but obviously I let it dry too. But yeah, let's get that plugged in. Okay, so it's been a couple days and I got these adapters. So let's see if they fit. Okay, so I didn't wire tie it up yet, but this one seemed to work. Everything plugged in fine. The crank position one also seemed to clip in and work fine. So here I got a K20 knock sensor from an RSX Type S, or standard RSX, I believe. The Type S ones were pretty expensive. I found this one for like 20 bucks. So yeah, got this old knock sensor and get this in. So next we have this ground right here, which I'm just gonna grind off the paint here and put it in the valve cover. Well, it's not time until I wire up the starter, but I did put on my throttle body here, so that's ready now. And then when I go, I can change it with these 5 Allens here. I can change the position of where the actual little nub goes in there. So okay, so for tonight I just filled this up with oil. It's, I believe, 5W30, 4.5 quarts. And then I also hooked up these heater hoses. So this one just hooked up right on, but this one I had to order some hose. It's 3/4 inch, I believe, inner diameter, something like that, and just cut it, fit right on. Nice. If you enjoyed, please like and sub, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.